Yes.
Meeting is called to order. Welcome everyone to the City of West Miami Regular City Commission hybrid meeting. Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, and it is approximately 7:35 p.m. Madam Clerk, if you will be so kind as to read the instructions to participate in the virtual commission meeting, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor, good evening, everyone. The instructions to participate in the virtual commission meeting. The commission meeting is held as a virtual meeting with elected officials and city staff participating through video conferencing and in person. Members of the public may join the meeting via Zoom at https://zoom.us/j/3255236059. For live remote public comments, the person wishing to submit the live remote public comments will appear live on the TV screens on the commission chambers during the meeting and will be afforded 3 minutes to speak. Please submit your first and last name for the record. To access the virtual meeting by phone, first dial 1-301-715-8592. When you connect, a machine will ask you for the meeting ID. Then dial 325-523-6059, followed by a #. Wait a few minutes until the host gives you access to the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. If we would all rise with the invocation by the city manager, please.
Thank you. Please rise. Lord, and let's bow our heads and ask and thank the Lord for our daily blessings, for our family, for the food on our table, our jobs, our city employees, our friends, and our city leaders and its citizens. We pray so that our elected leaders focus on the mission of service to our great nation. We pray for unity and safety. We pray so that we can become humble in heart and humble in soul. We pray so that you can make us an instrument of your goodness as we seek to find good in every day. Keep our law enforcement officers and our firefighters safe so that they can return home to their families. We pray for peace in our nation and our world. Please keep our servicemen and service women safe and give them strength to continue on their mission to achieve worldwide peace. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Commissioner Blanes, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir?
Allegiance
To the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Yes, item 3, roll call. Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez,
Present.
Vice Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón,
Here.
present. Commissioner Candida Blanca,
Yes.
present. Commissioner Juan Blanes, present. And Commissioner Luciano Suarez, present.
Yes.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, before we proceed, I'd like to take item 11A under new business out of order. The presentation by Chief Kaminski.
Yes, Madam Mayor, item 11 under new business agenda items, item 11A, presentation by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Department annual report summarizing the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Services to the City of West Miami during 2020 by Chief Alan Kaminski.
Thank you. Welcome, Chief Kaminski. It's a pleasure to have you with us this evening.
Good evening. The pleasure's all mine. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to present an overview of our service, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, to the City of West Miami.
It's all yours. You're up.
All right. So I guess if Maria, if we can bring it up. And again, I just wanted to say thank you, Madam Mayor Rodriguez, Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón, Commissioner Blanco, Commissioner Blanes, Commissioner Suarez, as well as City Manager Aguilar again for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Alan Kaminski. I'm the fire chief for Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. I've been the chief now for about a little over a year. I have 26 years of service with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. I'm a certified firefighter, paramedic, and inspector. I've been all throughout our department. I held the title of fire marshal for about 5 years. And it's my pleasure today just to give a nice overview of our fire department and the services we provide to the city of West Miami. Is the presentation up? Are you able to see it or?
There is nothing on our screen as of yet.
There will be momentarily.
Okay.
Lito Q?
Good evening, Mr. Asbel.
Okay, there.
And we see it.
Okay, so I guess we can go to slide 2. Okay, department overview. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue originated in 1935. We're the largest fire rescue department in the southeast portion of the United States. We're among the top 10 largest in the nation. Actually, we're the 6th. We have 2,700 employees. 2,105 are sworn firefighters, and we have 595 civilians. Our frontline units, we have 154 frontline units, 59 ALS transport units, and 60 ALS suppression units. Overall, throughout the county, we have 71 fire rescue stations. We have 2 full-time air rescue helicopters. We're in the process. We purchased 4 new AW-139 air rescue helicopters. We received 3. We're expecting to get the 4th one, hopefully by the end of the month. We have put one of those helicopters in service out of our Air Rescue South Station out of Miami Executive Airport. We are accredited by the Center for Public Safety Excellence Commission on Fire Accreditation. We just recently received this reaccreditation for the 3rd time. We're also Insurance Service Office ISO rating is a 2/2X. Next slide, please. Some of the services highlights that we provide from our EMS, emergency medical services. 90% of Mdfr units staffed to provide advanced life support services. Miami-Dade County residents have the highest survival rates in the nation from blocked coronary arteries, known as MIs or heart attacks. We're part of an exclusive with other fire departments as well as hospital network. We've established the STEMI, which is the ST elevation, myocardial infarction, which we established about 10 years ago. We're also part of a countywide stroke network. Within the fire department, we have the Office of Emergency Management as well, or OEM, which they manage County Emergency Operations Center, coordinate emergencies response and recovery plans. And they're also accredited by the Emergency Management Accreditation Program, EMAP. Next slide, please. A few highlights from 2020. Mdfr hired 4 classes in the year of 2020. So we had 106 new firefighters join our wonderful organization. Next slide. In 2020, we had 6 units placed in service. Actually, 2 of the units were 2 additional units within fire department, within Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. Engine 68, which is out of Doral North, as well as Rescue 71, which is out of Cutler Ridge. We also added 40 services, I should say, not services, but replaced units. 2 foam trucks at the airport were replaced with new state-of-the-art frontline foam trucks, as well as 2 fireboats. We replaced 1 fireboat 21. These are 55-foot fireboats that we have out of Hollover. And the second boat's fireboat 73, which actually will be due to Christian this month, and that boat will be going in service as well. Next slide. Another highlight in 2020 is we placed Rescue 41 in service, and then actually we relocated them to their temporary site, which is our Westwood Lake Fire Rescue Station 41, located at 491 Southwest 117th Avenue. We're in the current process of hopefully purchasing land around there and building a new permanent station there. Next slide. Mdfr has served the city of West Miami since 1981. In 2020, Mdfr responded to 1,066 emergency calls from the city. The city is primarily served by Mdfr's West Miami Fire Rescue Station 40, which responded to 86% of the incidents in the city during 2020. And as depicted in the chart below, you can see of the calls, 920 responded to by the West Miami. And actually, the next slide we'll go over with Tropical Park and other stations. We can go to the next slide. So the next slide is just a picture of our Station 40, which again is the primary station firehouse within the city of West Miami. And again, it responded to 86% of the calls 920 incidents. Next slide. This picture is a picture of our Station 3 Tropical Park, which responded to 5% of the calls within West Miami, which is a total of 57 incidents. Next slide. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue has 7 fire rescue stations within 5 miles of the city of West Miami. Station 40, again, is in the heart of West Miami, which has 1 rescue, an ALS rescue unit, and 1 ALS engine, which has a complement of 7 personnel. Our station 3 is 5 miles, 3.57, and 13, 4.24 miles, and Station 17, 4.6 miles. We have a total of 15 frontline units serving the city, 1 battalion chief, 5 rescues, 7 suppressions, 1 air truck, and 1 anti-venom unit. So daily, there's a total of 47 firefighter, paramedic, EMTs on duty every day within that 5-mile radius, providing service to the city of West Miami. Next slide. This is just a quick overview map, so you can see the city of West Miami with Station 40, and then the surrounding stations that provide service as well and coverage. Next slide, please. In 2020, we responded to 1,066 total incidents. Of those, 496 were life-threatening, 236 were non-life-threatening, 6 were structure fires, 119 were coded as other fires, and 209 were other emergencies, for a total of 1,066 calls. Life-threatening emergencies countywide are average is 7 minutes and 32 seconds. The town average call is 5 minutes and 51 seconds. For structure fire incidents, countywide average is 6 minutes and 13 seconds. And our response within the city of West Miami is 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Next slide, please. In 2021, we've had 160 total incidents as of January 30th, 2021. And just a brief overview, life-threatening 61, non-life-threatening 49, 1 structure fire, 8 other fires, and 41 other alarms. Next slide, please. Highlighting our 2020 Mdfr customer feedback survey, we send to 20% of Mdfr EMS patients monthly. Countywide is 3,136 respondents, about 10% return surveys, yielding an overall score of 4.86. 12 city residents return surveys yielding an overall score of 4.96, a 99% satisfaction rate. And there we have a comment from the city resident. Just one of the things I like the most is the respect they show Mdfr when they come to assist me. They are very friendly, courteous, and understanding, and they even told me to not hesitate to call them when I feel bad. Rescue members are one of the best. Thank you very much for your service. So it definitely means a lot when we see a resident with such a positive response. And that's a quick overview of our service that we provided for last year with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. So again, I thank you for the opportunity, and any questions, be more than happy to answer.
Are there any questions for Chief Kaminski on this? Chief, I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Thank you. That was a wonderful presentation, and thank you. We are so grateful to have Station 40 in our municipality. I know it serves more than our municipality, but having them within our city boundaries just makes us feel very safe. And as you see, they provided excellent service to us. So for that, through you, I'd like you to thank them for us for the great service that they have provided us over the years, and now under your leadership as well. But thank you, and please extend our gratitude to Station 40 as well.
Mayor, I have some comments.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, go ahead, sir.
Yes, Chief, we have been always proud that one of our commissioners, Mr. Juan Blanes, was a member of your force, was in the rescue force for many years. And we always were happy and proud of having him in our commission. But actually, one of the best assets, and I'm very proud, and I brag about when we talk about West Miami, I always said, well, we have Rescue 40 there. we have, the station 40. So we're very happy and very proud to have your station 40 in West Miami, really.
Chief, we call them ours. We call them West Miami Rescue 40.
Yes.
We call them ours.
Yes.
They're adopted and they carry our title. I'm sorry to say, yes, Miami-Dade County, but they're West Miami Rescue 40 to us.
Yeah, we take good care of them.
No, absolutely. I'm very proud.
Chief, I think you froze. We didn't catch everything you said, Chief. You froze.
Oh, sorry about that. No, I just said we're very proud of that with Rescue 40 and all of Miami-Dade Fire Rescue is, West Miami Fire Rescue Department. So, it's a true honor with the service that we provide to the community, day in and day out. And I couldn't thank you enough for your support as well.
Thank you, sir. We're always here for you. Thank you for being here. Maria, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Chief, for your presentation. And I did serve with the city of Miami, not Miami-Dade, but we're all one big brotherhood. And as the mayor said, we were always very proud to have Station 40 and Engine 40 and Rescue 40 serving us. And Chief, Godspeed on your command. I hope to see you here again soon.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening, Chief and Maria. Thank you so much.
I've got something, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead, Major. Yes.
So on January 20th, our chief suffered a heart attack, as most of you know. Okay. Rescue 40, La Familia, which is what their rescue truck says in the back, responded in a very quick, efficient, and professional manner. I was able to ride shotgun in that truck all the way to South Miami Hospital. And I saw the treatment that they gave Chief Avila. And it was because of their rapid response and their professionalism that he's with us here tonight. So Chief, I want to thank you and Rescue 40 and everything that you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Couldn't have
Ditto.
said better myself. Thank you, Major.
Thank you, Major.
Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Is Ingrid here with you as well, Chief? I see Ingrid. Ingrid, thank you for being here as well. I didn't want to leave you out. I said, I think that's a Miami-Dade Rescue sign behind you. So thank you for being here with us as well, Ingrid. You are always welcome, everyone, here to our meetings. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other comments?
Madam Mayor?
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, go right ahead, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, I'd like to also commend Miami Fire Rescue. My wife was in need of rescue a couple of weeks ago. And I tell you, I was amazed at the kindness and the attention that this firefighters came out and rendered my wife. So I'm deeply grateful, personally grateful to every single one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Well, Chief, you've heard all the personal thanks. I'm sure you're very proud of all your men and women out there every single day, everything they do for us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. All right, Madam.
Yes,
Go ahead, sir. Chief, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, yes, we definitely are. And thank you again very much from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you and good evening to you. Madam Clerk, next item, please. Or back to the order of the agenda.
Okay, item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for February 17th, 2021, regular commission meeting.
Motion. Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any against? Thank you. Next item is item 5, public comments.
Madam Clerk, has anyone called in, emailed, registered for public comments?
Not as of this time, Madam Mayor.
Elliot, did you have anything? No? Okay, Elliot has no public comment, so we will go on to the next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Commission. I don't have a written report, but there's a couple of things I did want to report for the record. The first one is we had our first 2-hour monitoring session with the Alliance for Aging yesterday, and that marks the beginning of this fiscal year monitoring with the Alliance. You will be very pleased to hear that despite the circumstances with the pandemic, everyone was praising Evelyn Paz and her progress when she started with us at the community center as the director. She was faced with very difficult challenges on how to convert that community center into a home delivered meal program while observing the conditions and the provisions of the contract. And everyone that was on that call from the Alliance were praising her, Mrs. Leon, and the city in general for the way we run our program. There is a monitoring report that I gave to my assistant that you should have been copied on, and if you haven't, you will be, which the overall report is good. There were some issues that we have to respond to, and we will, because that happens every year. And we have been advised that if any recaptured monies are available, they will definitely notify us so that we can include more people in our program. So this is work in progress. Our next session is March 17th, and there will be some on-site visits. So we are preparing for that. And again, my hat off to Evelyn Paz, who in my opinion has done an outstanding job, because I believe that that department has been hit the hardest as far as the pandemic goes because of the vulnerability of our senior citizens. So I wanted to publicly commend Evelyn. I don't think she's on the Zoom meeting, but I will be writing her a follow-up memo on this. The next item on my report is, as a result of the agenda item discussion on February 16th with Miami-Dade County regarding the 7 traffic calmers that Miami-Dade County Department of Transportation and Public Works has asked us to remove the signs and replace them with yields. I have been contacted by the county on several occasions with a sense of urgency for us to reconvene in a meeting. That meeting is scheduled for Monday. I will be meeting with I believe it's the acting director of the department. I'm not sure if Ms. Bravo is still with the county, but I know that I will be meeting via Zoom with Darlene Fernandez and Claudia Diaz. And I will be sending an invite to our city engineer on this issue. I believe that the county, and I think you heard it loud and clear at the last commission meeting, they would like for us to take action on the removal of the stop signs as promptly and swiftly as possible and replace those signs with yield signs. So that meeting is going to take place on Monday of next week. And because we brought it to you, I'm bringing you a follow-up on that. Is there anything else that any of the members of the city commission would like for us to convey on your behalf on Monday?
Well, Madam Manager, I'd like to convey something to you on that, and I appreciate your bringing it up in your report. I watched the Miami-Dade County Commission meeting yesterday, and specifically item 10 was about wrong one. Item 11A4 was about traffic calming devices, and specifically, I had to take a picture of it so I would know what it was about. Item 11A4 was a resolution directing the county mayor or county mayor's designee to complete the revisions to the traffic flow modification procedure manual and include modernization techniques and guidelines for interlocal agreements with municipalities for traffic. That manual, that traffic flow modification procedure manual, is the one I believe that Darlene referred to over and over and over and over and over again in her conversation with us. This resolution passed 11 all in favor, 2 opposed. And everyone was in favor of the modifications being made to this manual. So, and they kept speaking over. It was very long conversation or discussion on this item. And it was all about traffic calming devices. So I would say, in lieu of their re-looking at this manual, that we probably need to discuss this with them to see if they're going to make modifications to their procedures and to this manual. It might, all I'm saying is, when you talk to them on Monday, I'm sure they are going to be already aware that this resolution passed. So bring it up, see what they have to say about it, because if something in that manual is going to change that's going to affect this, I think we need to discuss it. It passed.
Okay.
So
If that is your request, we will include that. Got it.
So definitely see what they have to say about that resolution. And like I said, 11 of the commissioners were fully in support of relooking at the traffic calming devices and everything to do with that, and allowing the cities more say and more input and more leverage on what they're going to do with those traffic calming devices.
Duly noted here. I'm jotting it down so that I won't forget to ask.
Yes, Commissioner, go right ahead, sir.
Thank you. Yeah,
Commissioner Blanes, I can't hear you. Is your mic on?
yes, it's on.
I cannot hear you, Blanes.
Maybe put a little bit closer, Commissioner.
I can't get.
There you, I could hear you better.
Here we go. Can you hear me now?
From far away. Mr. Q, is there anything we could do about the sound for the microphone right in front of Commissioner Blanes?
How about now?
I better now.
A little better.
A little better?
Commissioner, you want to
I
come?
put the volume up here on the computer. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
No, here comes Mr. Q.
I feel like a little lab rat here in this cubicle.
You know what? I think, Vice Mayor, when you were here, when you were sitting there, didn't we have trouble with your sound as well? If I recall correctly?
I mean, I didn't know that I was there, but I was told later that I had trouble, people had trouble hearing me.
But when you were here in the chamber, right?
Right.
And you were sitting in the same place that Commissioner Blanes is in, so it might be something.
Hello, 1, 2, 3 testing. Can you hear me?
Better?
Can you hear me now, everyone?
I mean, it's not coming through your mic, but we can hear you a little better.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to speak a little louder here. I just have a couple of observations about this whole thing. And, it really didn't settle with me very well during the last commission meeting, what transpired. And, I didn't want to say anything then, but, I think that this needs to be brought up in public. We had at our commission meeting, last commission meeting, what appears to be the next director for the Department of all the traffic in Miami-Dade County. And, that's a pretty responsible, a lot of responsibility. So my observation is that, this person that has such great responsibility, of all Miami-Dade County traffic, I just thought that it was very odd that you take the time to come to our commission meeting, for the city of West Miami, a city that is not even, half a mile, half a square mile. We're one of the smallest municipalities in Miami-Dade County, and we probably don't have that many stop signs at these circles as compared to other cities. And the other observation that I had was that if this is so important for quite possibly the next director of all the traffic of Miami-Dade County to come to our commission meeting and, so fervently, tell us that we must remove these stop signs because it's so important, how come it's not a blanket decision affecting everyone in Miami-Dade County? If it's that important, because to me, it just didn't make any sense for her to come to our commission meeting, a small municipality that's not even, half a square mile, because we have 3 or 4 stop signs. I mean, I don't know, that just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And, I think that, in that respect, Miami-Dade County needs to rethink and reprioritize their responsibilities, and service, because it just does not make any sense what transpired during our last commission. It just does not. If this is so important, then you know what? It needs to be done, and it needs to be a blanket type of decision that is made, affecting every single municipality in Miami-Dade County, not just us.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have Chief Avila, then
Mayor,
I have Chief Avila with his hand up first, sir. And then I'll have Commissioner Suarez.
yes,
And yep, I have the chief first. Go ahead, Chief.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager, thank you very much. Last meeting, although I did watch the meeting, I was not present because of my situation. Major Delgado and I spoke about this situation for that meeting, and he basically let you know what my thoughts were. But I want to let you know in person what my thoughts are on this. Nothing that is going on with these traffic circles and the stop signs are even a coherent thought, in my opinion. It makes no sense to me that if we've had these stop signs for, I believe it's somewhere in the area of 14 years, that now they want to go and put yield signs on there. The traffic doesn't even, the people that travel inside West Miami that cut through, they don't know what yield means. They just don't care that the yield signs are there. At least the stop sign slows them down. So.
Thank you, Chief. And
Well, I think
I think we lost him. I don't
we lost him.
see the screen anymore. Okay, as soon as the chief comes back, I will.
Yeah,
Mayor?
so we lost the chief, but I know where he's going with this.
Yes, go ahead, Major.
Basically, the stop signs are slowing people down, where the yield signs are going to be a recipe for disaster. And that's what he's trying to go with this.
Thank you, Major.
You're welcome.
And that I echo those sentiments from the last meeting. Commissioner Suarez.
well,
Yes,
Mayor,
go ahead, sir.
yeah, I just want to make a comment. Last meeting, we talked about that. My opinion was that we do not have the power over the county. County have the power over us. Now, this is not in the agenda item. This just was a simple comment from the manager.
Correct.
And then if you want to discuss this again, put in the item, get the information from the police department, for all the departments, and then we discuss as a agenda item. But then we are going to talk the same thing we talked last meeting, but it's not in the agenda tonight.
You're correct, but the manager did ask if anyone had any input on her report, and I opened it up to the table, as I always do. And then I wanted to let you know about what I heard from the county commission, which might work in our favor. If they're redoing that manual, then that might be a very good thing for us.
So
but
what
thank you for your comment, Commissioner.
That's what I mean. Bring the information you get, and bring the item in the agenda with all the information you got in that meeting.
Thank you,
Would
Commissioner.
be much better.
The manager has her meeting on Monday. So I wanted to be sure that she heard from all of us, because she asked if we had anything to say, so that bring our thoughts to the county's meeting on Monday. And that is why I'm letting everyone speak. And that is why I wanted you to know what I heard from the commission meeting. Yes, Chief, you're back, and we lost you mid-sentence, so go ahead, sir.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
But either way, I just wanted to put my thoughts on the record because it really is not a coherent thought to me that this is going to happen. Again, like I said, at least with the stop signs, as far as I'm concerned, it's a safety issue. Some of them don't stop. Some of them obviously get written up when they're observed by our officers. But even if they don't get written up, they at least slow down, which is almost more important. They at least slow down with the stop signs. So those were my thoughts.
Thank you, Chief. And I know you watched the last meeting, so you know that I echo those as well. I have Mr. Asbell. I know it's not public comment time, but I am going to allow Mr. Asbell to the microphone.
First of all, for Elliot Asbell, Sunnyside Motel and Trailer Park. First of all of you know, it's very rare that Commissioner Suarez and I agree. And it's not that I disagree with everyone else. There are feelings and beliefs, and there are facts. In unbelievable amount of time, as Commissioner Suarez said, this was thoroughly discussed. The only thing that is new is that there is an upcoming meeting, and in light of the fact that there is a revision of the manual, let me repeat that, a revision of the manual, because there seemed to be some suggestion that City of West Miami was being prejudicially involved. This needs to be brought up at that next meeting with the mayor. It is possible that the revision is going to address in the best possible light for the feelings and beliefs, but not the facts, for the feelings and beliefs, not the facts, presented at the last commission meeting. When I say facts, it is possible, and I personally would love it if in fact the revision foresees amending itself in the one particular section, as well as others, I'm quite sure it's not one, wherein stop signs in traffic circles will be permitted. The fact, as was explained to you over and over by the lady engineer, and I understand that no one likes it, that doesn't surprise me at all. That was very clear. She likewise was very clear that this stems not from the top at Dade County, but federally to Dade County, and then from her department to the municipalities. The fact is, if that is, and someone slighted it by saying a manual, well, that's typically in terms of policy. When policy decisions are made either here, other municipalities, and especially in Dade County, there typically is manuals that prescribe how that policy decision is to be implemented. So you don't have 40 different people implementing the policy at their own discretion or according to their own beliefs. You don't need to like this, but if in fact it's not amended and is a requirement, and I'm not going to debate with any traffic engineer or the major or chief of this city what's more safe and what's less safe. The fact that you've had it for 14 years and you've had a buy, as I understood it, the engineer is compelled, as our code enforcement officer is compelled, if in fact there is a call in about a violation of code, that code enforcement officer has the requirement to go out and investigate. If in fact, upon investigation, it's sustained that the violation exists, then a code violation is ordered and there's an appeal hearing, etc. And it doesn't matter if that code violation went unnoticed or unenforced for 5 minutes, 5 years, or 50 years, because your codes change. So I personally hope and like what Mr. Commissioner Suarez is saying. I believe this is not a matter of will or choice. It's a policy decision. The mayor specifically said the resolution, whatever it is, was passed with a positive 11 vote. They're not going to go back and revisit whatever took back in that commission meeting. You have every right, and the mayor should inquire as to there was a meeting, and in the meeting, can you specifically tell us what and when we have to do? You give deadlines in terms of code enforcement. You give deadlines in terms of other situations. This is a function of government, and you don't need to agree with it. You have elected officials. It starts federal, down to Dade, is being revised. Find out the revision. But why must we go on and on telling each other how we feel when how we feel is totally irrelevant, even if our feelings are correct? That's what you're facing. And I don't understand, as Commissioner Suarez says, and Mr. Blanes, Commissioner Blanes, you did speak twice on the issue the last time. Again, everyone knew you were upset, so it's not surprising. And I can agree with you being upset, but the law is the law. And you will follow the law. What you need to do now is find out exactly what the revision entails and then act accordingly. I hope, other than listening to the mayor bring back information from this meeting, that none of you speak or question or reiterate how you feel or don't feel. You need to deal with the reality of this situation. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner Blanes, Commissioner Blanca. But really, this is a total waste of time and energy.
Madam Mayor,
Thank you,
can I say
Elliot.
something?
Absolutely.
That was very eloquent, Elliot.
Usually am.
And basically, yeah, you're right. I did speak twice and I was upset. But when I do speak here, sitting here, I'm not talking for myself. I'm talking for all the residents of the city of West Miami.
No, you're not.
It is, I am their
Gentlemen,
voice.
I'm not going to have a banter back and
I am
forth.
their
Elliot,
voice.
it is Commissioner Blanes'
I am
turn.
their voice.
One resident.
Elliot, I am not going to have
It
a banter.
doesn't matter. I was
Gentlemen, I am not going to have a banter back and forth. Commissioner Blanes is speaking.
I was elected and I sit here and I represent the residents of the city. Please don't say anything. You've already said enough. And I'm just straightening you out. Okay? Yes, I am.
We're not gonna.
I represent the residents of the city of West Miami. It is not me. It is not personal. I happen to know that there's residents out there that are against this. Okay? So I think that it should behoove us all to realize, that we all represent the residents. We sit here, please don't speak. You're being very rude. Okay?
Gentlemen, this conversation has ended. Commissioner Blanes, thank you for your comments. Elliot, thank you for yours as well. No apology necessary, sir. No apology necessary. Okay, we're done. We are done. We're done with this.
He does not deserve his police overriding facts.
Elliot, we are done with this item. Thank you for your comments. Thank Commissioner Blanes. Thank you for yours as well.
I don't think we we deserve to put up with this.
Okay, we are finished with this and we are moving on to the next item. I'm sorry, we are still in the manager's report.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I even brought it up, but okay.
Well,
So, okay,
you had to bring it up. The meeting's on Monday.
I
had
have
to
no
bring it up.
choice.
You're doing your job. Go right ahead.
Okay, so the next item is, we have a meeting next week with Mr. Penna, our city attorney, on the ongoing Comcast issue, and I won't get into it after speaking with our city attorney, but I just want the commission to know that we are on it. We have been working, the city attorney and I have spoken over the weekend endlessly, and we have a plan of action, and hopefully we will be able to get somewhere next week. So we'll provide you a report that I think will come from your city attorney at the next meeting. The next item, on a lighter note, we have a final draft of an Easter egg hunt flyer that Mayor, we shared that flyer with you because obviously this falls within your chartered approval process. Since we spoke, I'm very pleased to report that Baptist Hospital, Miami-Dade County Emergency Management, Leon Medical Center, Sunshine Health, they're all going to donate children's masks to put in the Easter bags.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
And personalized hand sanitizers to distribute so that the kids can use them in their backpacks and in their outings as a way to continue being very mindful of the pandemic. So while we didn't get monetary donations, I think this is going to enhance and continue to create awareness with the little giveaways that we have for the children. Additionally, aside from the flyers, we have ordered some really nice signs that we can use in future real Easter egg hunt events for the kids. So we're doing this for, like I told you, Mayor, a while back ago when we spoke, you asked how much this event would cost, and I say somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500, and that estimate still holds true today. So we will be funding that event from our special events account in the Recreation Center Fund. So I'm going to ask John and Megan and our partners over at the Recreation Center to assist with preparing the bags for the kids. We're going to send the flyers after we've completed the flyer preparation and included the sponsors. We're going to send them to the schools, and we are going to hand deliver them to the community as we generally do with all of our events.
Thank you, Madam Manager. John, you up to the challenge? You're up to the Easter bag filling challenge? Okay, so 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. The one thing I did want to go back to you, and the clerk brought it up, we had talked about a 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. event. We're looking at 10:30 to 12:30. I think 2 hours of a drive-through is more than plenty of time because it will end after supplies run out. So we're going to do this on a first come, first serve, and it is noted on the flyer. I will be sending the flyer to the mayor and city commission tomorrow. Tomorrow, as soon as Mr. Quintana inserts the sponsors on here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. That said, the only thing left in my notes is, as customary, we come to you before the Easter season and ask you for permission to close on Good Friday. And we've been following this tradition now for at least 20 years. So we ask you again for permission to close on April 2nd for Good Friday so that we can give ample notice to the residents.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Madam Manager, you have our go ahead on that.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Is that all for your report?
That concludes my report, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to respond to those.
Any questions for the manager on her report?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
Mr. Attorney? Mr. Attorney, you're on mute.
Good evening, Madam
Good
Mayor and Commissioners. I think that the manager reported on what I had to say. There's nothing new, and we're meeting with the upper echelon of the people in question. So we'll report as soon as we have something positive.
Well, thank you both for your due diligence on that. Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
Good evening, Madam Manager. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. I apologize, I'm on my phone right now. I was having some internet issues. The only thing I have to report is on the water project. We are complete with the major work along 58th Avenue. It should be done by the end of the week with all the major pipe installations. And we will be proceeding next week to start with the rear service easements and start on that work on the rear services. So we're moving at a good clip, no delays, and project is progressing. Other than that, I don't really have any other items, but I can take any questions you all may have.
Thank you, Frank. Any questions for the city engineer on the project or any other questions? No? Thank you, Frank, for that report. And I'm glad to hear we're still on track and moving forward on that.
Yep.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 9, committee reports. Report of the mayor.
I do have something, and it's coming from the commission meeting. I know it's not on the agenda, but I wanted to share the good news with you. But I don't know if it was the last meeting or the meeting before that, or if it was an email. I remember the city manager letting us know about some possible expanding of the use of the surtax funds to be used for freebie. I don't know if that, did you tell us that in a meeting or was that an email, Madam Manager?
That was when we brought up the issue of the grant from the state of Florida, where we
Maybe
were
so.
awarded the $60,000.
Okay,
We
maybe
have
so.
already signed, executed, and Mr. Pena has forwarded that to the office of TPO, which is the managing agency for the county for that state grant.
Wonderful. So when I heard this in the meeting, it was actually item 7A. The county passed 10-3 that the resolution is going to allow for surtax funds to be used for on-demand transportation services in unincorporated and incorporated Miami-Dade County, with the trip not to exceed 5 miles, which means we could possibly expand our service area, and in doing so, acquire more advertising, which might allow for yet another vehicle or extended time. So what I want you to do, Madam Manager, if you could get with Jason and see how this might benefit us.
I will.
I thought that was great
recall,
news. And you can also maybe check with Mr. Betancourt and see what his, the information from the PTP and the CITT. I just thought that was wonderful news and free. Like I said, it was also another lengthy discussion, and freebie, the term freebie kept coming up over and over and over again, that that money would be able to be used for an expanded area, meaning to go outside of our municipality.
right. And I just want to clarify something for your reference and the reference of the commission. The $60,000 grant that we received from the state that we have been awarded is for a 2 fiscal year cycle, and it goes to offset the additional hours that were approved prior to the decision that the county made. And it went specifically to add the Saturday to augment the afternoon hours, and it's also going to augment or help to defray cost, if you would. The grant for the extended hours during the spring and summer months. So this that you're reporting right now is something that I would have to pursue with freebie, and I guess advertisement would have to help with keeping costs lower, and depending on utilization, at some point we need to look at the possibility of we need to have an open mind for a second vehicle if necessary, because we are then going to be looking at an expanded route, which will take the vehicle outside our city limits. I mean, it's music to my ears, but definitely we need to have a sit down conversation and maybe do a test run. I don't know if the
Well,
item was
I don't need,
approved.
I don't want to get into all those details. I just
Right.
want to share the good news with you that
Excellent news.
now we're able to explore
Right.
a freebie
So
up to 5 miles outside. The ride cannot exceed 5 miles. I mean, we're not
I
that.
will contact
So-
Mr. Betancourt, but I am sure
Correct.
that all municipalities will get a written notification from the
Yes,
county
exactly.
telling us what our limitations are in terms of our boundaries.
I think it's just wonderful news, and I wanted to share it.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Thank you.
Thank
Madam
you, ma'am.
Clerk, I have nothing else for my report.
Any other committee?
I hear none. Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business. On item 10A, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the city manager to execute a lease agreement with MKS Automotive for the lease property owned by the city of West Miami located at 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue, West Miami, for a period of 3 years, commencing on October 1st, 2020 and ending September 30th, 2023, providing for effective date.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, if I may briefly submit to you the commercial lease agreement between this proposed between the city of West Miami and our tenant at the 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue location known as MKS Automotive. As some of you may know, we waited a little while after October 1st to bring this to you because the tenants have been going through a very difficult time. Carla Santiago and her husband lost their son in an automobile accident recently, and they have gone through terrible grief. Juan Pena and I met with Miss Carla here, and I cannot tell you how difficult this has been for them. But despite of us putting them in a situation where they had to maybe share this with their attorney and go over the conditions of the lease, we put them on a month to month, and based on the same lease that expired on September 30, as of the end of September 30th, 2020. They have expressed a desire to stay on the premise. They have to continue working. They do have a family, and they are delighted to stay as our tenants. Now, we're proposing that due to the pandemic and due to possible commercial market rental fluctuations, we are proposing that through the end of this fiscal year, which is September 30th, 2021, they remain in the at the same rate of rental that they have been paying us, plus their sales tax and they pay for the property taxes. And for the property in question here is the city property, but we pay the first $500 in taxes, and they pay the balance. So we have a security deposit with MKS that we took initially. They've been our tenants for about 10 or 12 years now. And we are also proposing that the rental payment for year 2 and year 3 of this lease agreement will be predicated on the CPI based on the Department of Labor and Statistics that will be published in June 2021. And the rental agreement can either remain the same or increase based on the CPI, but it cannot be reduced. and they agree to the terms of the rental. Obviously, there is Mr. Villalobos did a great job really preparing this lease agreement. He put in a provision where the tenant will pay an additional sum if they of 5% on the monthly rental if they fail to pay the monthly rental within 10 calendar days from the due date. And there's a typo here that we have to correct, and it should not be 5 days, but 10 days. So we will correct that. In addition to the above, as mentioned, the landlord will collect sales tax and the rental taxes in each month's rent. So the amount of money that we have in the budget is $4,062 for the rent, plus $304.65 for sales tax, for a monthly total amount due to the city of $4,366.66. And then the taxes will be incorporated in their monthly payment. We have authorized them to use the premise strictly for their business in automotive in tires, sales and service and mechanical repairs. The tenant cannot sublease the premise, and they understand that at their expense, they will have to make any and all repairs to the premises, to include routine repairs of floors, walls, ceilings, and other part of the premises damages or worn through normal occupancy, except for major mechanical systems on the roof, and again, subject to the obligation of the parties. So alterations and improvements, the tenant will have to seek the consent from the landlord to remodel, redecorate, and to make any additions or improvements and or replacements to the property. Property taxes I've covered. The tenant will pay the property taxes in their monthly rent. The tenant is going to provide the city of West Miami and shall maintain a policy of $1 million of comprehensive general liability insurance. And they will be providing us with a copy of their workers' compensation agreement and their current certificates of insurance for the twice a year, bi-yearly basis or on a yearly basis for the premise. They will pay for all utilities associated with providing service to their clients, like water, sewer, gas, electricity, phone, and other service and utilities that they use. Signs, they must come to us first for consent, and the tenant shall have the right to place on the premise at the locations selected by the landlord signs that are permitted by our zoning ordinance. The upkeep, the tenant will, at their expense, keep the exterior surfaces, including the outside and inside of all glass in the doors and windows of the premises, clean or as clean as possible for a mechanical shop, and repair or replace any cracked or broken glass on the premise. The upkeep is at the tenant's expense. Damage and destruction is addressed under our item 12 here. The city shall have the right to inspect, and the tenant shall have the right within 90 days following any damage to elect by notice to advise the landlord that they wish to terminate the lease and or report any damage. Default, there's a default provision here. There's a quiet possession, which is standard in any lease agreement, condemnation, subordination, and notice. The parties agree to contemplate this lease should not and shall not be filed for record, but in lieu thereof, at the request of either party, the landlord and tenant shall execute a memorandum of lease to be recorded for the purpose of giving record notice to the of the appropriate provisions of the lease. So Mr. Villalobos has, in fact, reviewed the lease. He helped us make the necessary changes, alter language, and delete what it was not applicable. And the parties, Miss Carla Santiago and her husband, have agreed to the conditions of the lease, and we would recommend to you that you authorize this under the resolution that was prepared by the city attorney, which is consistent with prior years, for a 3-year lease commencing on October 1st, 2020, ending September 30th, 2023, with the option of possibly renewing it at a later date or not.
Motion.
Madam Manager, I first want to say I'm so sorry to hear about the news of their son. Very, very sad. I do have a question, and Commissioner, I heard your motion. The prior agreements we had, were they all 3-year leases?
Yes, with option to renew for another 2 years. We've had 5-year leases, and then we've had 3-year leases with option to renew.
Okay. Okay.
Second.
I have a motion. I have a second. Madam Clerk, call the vote, please.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you.
Next
And I
item.
will express your sentiments to Ms. Santiago.
Yes, please. Next item.
Item 11B, resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami extending the time for compliance from March 6, 2021 to an additional 45 days in which to comply with Resolution 2021-02 from Gina Diaz on code enforcement liens for court violations at the property located at 6287 Southwest 12th Street, West Miami, Florida, providing that if payment in full is not paid by blank, then the amount owed shall revert to the original lien amount, providing for an effective date.
Mr. Penna? Or who's going to present this?
I believe the manager was, but
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I didn't see any name on here. So go ahead, Madam Manager.
Basically, this is a matter that's being monitored by Mr. Penna's office in code enforcement. The owner of the property has been unable to pay the $15,000 fine that was adjudicated at the last city commission meeting, and she's asking for an extension of time. Gianna Diaz, I don't know, I thought I saw her earlier as part of the
she is
meeting participation, and you may want to ask her. I don't have any specific details as to why she is requesting this 45-day extension, and I would like to hear code enforcement recommendation to this request.
Okay, Miss Diaz, please go ahead and state your name and address, and you have the floor.
Thank you. My name is Gina Grullon. I'm also known as Gina Diaz, and I own 6287 Southwest 12th Street in West Miami, Florida, 33144. I live on 7795 Point Vicente Court, Jacksonville, Florida, 32256. And the reason for my request is because I'm selling the property, and the closing has been extended because the bank is they have delayed the process, I guess because of COVID. I have no idea. So I'm asking for an extension because I gave the buyer an extension, an addendum for the closing. So I'm asking for 45 days. It's probably going to close sooner than that, but just so that I don't have to ask again, I'm asking for the 45 days.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, I referred to you as Gianna. It's Gina. My apologies for
No problem.
Mr. Penna, and thank you, Ms. Diaz. Mr. Penna, do you have anything to add to this?
No, the property's fine at this point. Ms. Diaz had requested a longer period at the last meeting, fearing that the bank would not be able to close on time. So we have no objection.
She did, and I do recall that, so thank you.
Motion.
Okay, did we read the resolution already?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
We read the resolution. I have a
Yes.
motion. I need a second.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the vote, please.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
He said yes.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Diaz,
ladies
for
and
being with us
gentlemen.
this evening.
Thank
Good
you.
luck
You have a
good luck on your closing.
thank you, ma'am.
Have a great evening.
You as well. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 11C, report by the Office of the City Manager and Director of Public Works in reference to options for a lease purchase agreement for a permanent garbage truck.
Madam Mayor, I think it's only fair that I yield to Mr. Penna on this. There is a memo issued by by his office dated February 26th as part of the packet. If there's anything that I think I should chime in with, I will, with your permission. But I think that he's got more experience in this area than I do. So if we could hear from Juan, I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Mr. Penna.
Madam Mayor, as I described in the first memo that I wrote when we were in dire need for a truck, we preferred the truck that was being offered by the Recten International. Since that time, we went ahead and we secured the truck from Premier Truck Sales, which is a brand new truck. I don't know if you've seen it on the road yet, but it's here and it's working fine. It's a smaller truck. It's a 25 cubic yard truck, but we got that one on a rental basis to give us time to eliminate the truck that was leaking oil off the road and see what the offer was going to be with the Florida Sheriff's bid, through the Florida Sheriff's bid from Recten. The total price of the new truck would be $188,891. It's the bigger truck. Like I said, it's a 32 cubic yard, which is slightly larger than what we have now. We have a 31 cubic yard truck. That truck is still out. As I stated before, it has power problems with the engine, mostly because it's an electrical problem. They believe that the engine is fine. It's just that nowadays these trucks come with computers and everything else, sensors, and as they get older, the harnesses tend to fray and stuff like that. So they haven't been able to find the exact cause of the problem yet. However, since we have the rental truck, we are using it and it's working well, but it'll give us time to allow us to put the order in for this new truck that has to be assembled. Saying that, the truck, I spoke to Recten International today, and they advised that the truck could take anywhere from 60 to 120 days to get the truck. So as soon as we are able to put in a purchase order, they will give Heil their purchase order for the truck, and they will prepare the chassis here locally in Hialeah.
Any questions for Mr. Penna?
I don't have a question for Mr. Penna necessarily. Madam Manager, I saw in Mr. Penna's memo him talking about the more heavy duty bins, correct?
Correct.
As you know, the truck that I'm purchasing and the one that we rented has the tippers on the back of the truck for the larger cans like Miami-Dade County uses, City Miami, and other cities use. We discussed that briefly with the manager. It is a subject that we will take up probably for the next fiscal year in order to allow us time to get the new truck in and decide how, if we're going to go with those containers. There's ordinances that need to be changed as far as limiting quantity and placement of the cans.
I appreciate that. So Madam Manager, at some point, it doesn't need to be next meeting. It's not an emergency, obviously. We don't have this truck yet. But at some point, could you bring back to this commission a report on the feasibility of going to a heavy duty can bin program, I guess, within our current trash budget?
Yes, I will. I'll be happy to do that. We have been in conversation, as Mr. Penna just reported. We're going to come up with a plan of action. What I would like to do is finance the truck, have our financing plan in place, which we should have tomorrow or the next day. But I think that as a matter of being fiscally responsible here, we need to issue the purchase order so that we can cut our losses short with a rental of the new truck, because we are paying $7,100 a month. So I'll get with Juan, and based on those projections that we make to include the heavy duty containers, we will advise, and then the commission can take action, or we can include it in the budget, or whatever it is that the direction that you wish for us to take. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that at the next commission meeting or the following one. That's if we can get all the pricing information.
Right, and to clarify, we don't have the financing yet, but we expect them to finance it, or the bank to finance it.
I believe Mr. Penna has some preliminary financing information. I've asked them to go back to the company that is it Recton that you're working with, Juan. Right. I asked them late this afternoon to go back to them to ask them to give us a proposed agreement for that lease with the interest specifications. I believe Juan mentioned that the interest rate was extremely competitive, something like 1.5%, somewhere in that neighborhood, which is very competitive. I've also reached out as of this afternoon. I sent Teresita Rodriguez, our rep at City National. I sent a request to see what they have in terms of government pricing, contract pricing for lease purchase agreements of this nature. So I'm waiting for her response. I've sent her via an email all the specifications for the trucks. So we will definitely get back to you on that as soon as we know and that we are comfortable with a repayment schedule. I think we can, bring you the next concept for the truck.
Beautiful. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Penna. Will these cans come from the same vendor, or is this a whole different vendor we'll get the cans from?
No, the cans are actually from the vendor that supplies Miami-Dade County and the city of Miami with their cans. They're based out of Seattle, Washington, and I already made contact with them, and they're going to provide me costs regarding the amount of cans that we need.
Wonderful. And Madam Manager, this might be a question for you. I'm thrilled, by the way, that we're finally getting this new truck. It's much needed, and I've seen it and I love it. What was I going to say here? I just lost my train of thought. When you brought up the purchase of the truck a while back, you mentioned, I believe at the same time, that our reserves, was it in the garbage, or I forget the department name, that our reserves were running quite low. Correct? Am I correct with that statement?
Yes, we did discuss that. And as of last fiscal year, we were able to build a reserve. Actually, well, this was as of 2019. Let me see if I have a quick report here. If not, I'm going to have to go back and give you some accurate numbers, but our reserves have depleted some for the last two fiscal years. And that was expected because of all the repairs to the old trucks. We have spent, Juan, I would say $35,000 in repairs that were not budgeted. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. for the two
And,
trucks, so we have to,
that's the cost of doing business, but
it
you know-
is.
You know how I am about reserves and I
Mhm.
just remember, now we're spending the money. Again, we have to, and like I said, we need a plan for the next truck. We had to start
Correct.
planning. So I'm just concerned, with the depletion of the reserves. I
Well,
think
the,
it's time we
Yep.
start looking at, and I want you to bring us back the information. It's time we start looking at our garbage fee. We need to build those reserves back up because this is not the last garbage truck we're gonna have to buy, okay? So
I concur.
I need you to come back to us with some information and we need to look at the garbage fee.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
can
And
get those reserves back up.
I believe, okay, as of, and this is the unaudited report as of September 30th. The unaudited report depleted our reserves by about $80,000 from prior year. We had $81,000 as of the end of September 30th, 2020. Prior year, we had $171,000. And I suspect that this amount will decrease. And this is because, like you said, this is the cost of doing business. So we will come back to you with a detailed report. And we don't have the numbers for the end of March, which is our 6-month budgeting benchmark that we use, but we will give you something to work with that is a little bit more accurate.
Okay, and there's no rush on that, but
Right.
Mayor,
you know that I
Mayor,
do. Yes, I will. As soon as I'm done, Commissioner, I hear you, I see you, and I will give you an opportunity as soon as I'm done with my thought. So there's no rush, Madam Manager, but it is something that I want to look at in the near future. It's something we
Okay.
have to all look at in the near future. Okay,
Definitely.
thank
Thank you. I'll come back to you with a report on that as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Suarez, go ahead, sir.
well, my question is, if we approve this resolution today, is resolution for the manager start the negotiations about the purchase of the truck. She will be back to us with the final numbers, and then we will have a final resolution to approve the purchase price, right?
No, this is approving it. This resolution is doing just that, sir.
So
it approves, the resolution would pave the way for the purchase of the truck and for us to go out and finance the truck and find the best interest and financing terms.
All right, we know the price of the truck. What you're waiting for is the financial. What percentage we know will be 1% or something very low. It's the standard now. So if we approve this today, we're approving the price of the truck, and the only thing you have to negotiate is the lowest interest and the time to pay for it.
Correct. Yes.
And the source, because I know we have been spending money fixing that truck is 20 years old, 22 years old, or older than one. So no, I make a motion for this.
Well, we have to read the resolution, but I have one more question for Mr. Penna. Mr. Penna, the truck that's in repair, does that become our backup truck now?
That's correct.
And then that third one, the other one, we sell, right? Is
So
this,
surplus.
Yes.
okay, so the oldest one, the broken down one, we sell it. The one that's being repaired now becomes our backup, and we have our new one. Okay, wonderful. Any other questions for the manager, Mr. Penna? No. Madam Clerk, could you read the resolution, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor, a resolution, item 11D, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami declaring an emergency and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for the lease purchase of a 2021 International Harvester chassis and a 32 cubic yard high refused rear loader body from Brexton International Truck Sales through Florida Sheriff's Bid number FSA 20-VEH 18.0 in the amount of $188,891 financed by BMO Harris Bank North America lease purchase agreement to be paid in X equal yearly installments of blank for a total of blank principal and interest for the use of the sanitation department to be funded by Sanitation Enterprise Fund providing for effective date.
Motion.
Wait, hold on. I heard a lot of blanks there.
Okay, just to clarify, at this point, We are not putting in, we're not using the BMO at this point. We still are getting prices from the local bank. BMO is the Chicago bank where that Recten does business with, and they're the ones offering the municipal lease. But we're also looking at our local bank to see
Local banks.
a better price.
I would like to have, I think, so that I can feel a little bit more comfortable, I would like to reach out to 2 more banks. I reached out to 1 today, and I will do so before the end of the week and try to get the best agreement possible for the city for the financing of the truck.
No, I understand that. I just mean,
Yeah.
and you know, when we read this resolution, can we amend it right here at the table so we're all good with the wording?
Yes.
So it matches what Mr. Penna is saying. Mr. Attorney, you know, how do we amend this so Mr. Suarez can motion it?
And what we're looking for are, as far as installments, we're looking at 8 years with yearly payments in advance, and just a range in those 8 years is like $27,000 per year.
Oh, I get that. I'm all good with that. I'm just saying on the wording on the resolution. I just amend that right now so we can vote on it correctly.
But we don't know who's going to finance it, so we can't amend it.
Right.
Oh, just take that out.
I would recommend that we remove the wording financed by BMO Harris Bank and that we bring to you a separate resolution for the financing agreement at the next commission meeting.
Mr. Attorney, is that sufficient for you?
That would be exactly what I would suggest. Since we're not going to do it from that particular financing company, that word would be superfluous.
Okay.
There may, Madam Mayor, if I may, I'm so sorry. We may wind up doing it with them because of their competitive interest rate, but we're going to do our due diligence and bring at least 2 other financing institutions to give us a proposal as well.
Well, we can have it. We cannot have both of them at the same resolution.
Right.
I think that what the Vice Mayor is saying is correct. We should amend this, declaring the emergency and authorizing the purchase, subject to a subsequent resolution authorizing the manager to enter into a finance agreement with whatever bank.
So this resolution will simply be for the purchase price, and then the financing and the number of installments, and for a total of will come to us in this next resolution. Is that correct?
That will be correct.
Okay. Madam Clerk, are you clear on that?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I was taking notes. Yeah.
I'll motion on that as amended, or I'll second Commissioner Suarez's motion.
Well, I already had a first and a second. So.
Okay, we had a motion by Commissioner Suarez as amended, or it was presented, but then he agreed to, Commissioner Suarez, do you agree to vote on, to motion on the resolution as amended?
Yes, I accept the friendly amendment for a Vice Mayor.
Okay.
Okay, I have a first as amended and a second as amended. Madam Clerk, call the vote, please.
Okay, who seconded the motion, Madam Mayor?
Commissioner Blanes.
Okay. Okay, on the motion, Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote? Yes. Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome, Madam Mayor. Next item.
And now for the next item.
And
wait, where is John Michael? There he is. There he is. Okay, I had to see him. And now, drum roll for the next item on the agenda. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Yes, this will be item 11E. D there, I don't know why, but anyways, request for recognition to West Miami Park Director, John Michael Lopez, and West Miami Recreation Center staff for a job well done after being designated one of the 3 top-rated parks in Miami-Dade County by the 3 best-rated publication by Commissioner Blanes.
First of all, I want us all to stand and give a standing ovation to Mr. John Michael Lopez and his amazing recreation staff. John, you didn't have to stand. We didn't stand for you. Commissioner Blanes, take it away, sir.
Well, this is a reflection of, his dedicated service. I can't say enough about how well John Michael, has done. I mean, he creates that spirit, at our famous rec, that creates that space, for it all to happen, It's been a long tradition of the city of West Miami to have, this great service to our community. And he, he's right there, with the best of them, if not the best, so, I can't say enough. I can't say enough how well you've done, and you've managed our recreation center, and I'm incredibly thankful, and I'm very happy for your service to us and our residents, as well as all of us, I'm sure. So I thank you. I thank you for your service and your dedication, and this is a reflection. This board is a reflection of just that. So again, thank you.
John Michael, I couldn't have said it better than, and I echo Commissioner Blanes's words, and the residents, the moms, the dads, the abuelas, the abuelos, the kids, they just rave about you and your staff, and they love you to death. And I know the love is mutual. I know you all love those kids and take care of them as much as they love you. So for that, I thank you. Thank you, sir.
Me three.
Me three, Commissioner Blanes. So, all in favor of this request for recognition for our stupendous West Miami recreation staff? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I better not hear anyone opposed. Of course, there's no one opposed. John Michael Lopez, thank you, sir, for all that you do for us.
Thank you guys for everything.
What's that?
Thank you guys for everything and your participation, and teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, I love it.
Yep.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I've been waiting 2 hours just to say that.
I know you have. Madam Manager, Madam Clerk, just
You deserve it, Jim.
let us know what we're going to do
Thank you.
and how we're going to do it, and let's just do it. You let us know.
Yes,
Let us know where to go from here.
Madam Mayor, I feel that I want to add something, if I may. During these unprecedented times, to have an average of 35, 38 kids there every day after school is a testament of what we do provide. Under these conditions, parents are, keeping their kids at home. Schools are not back in full on-campus mode. And I have to tell you that these kids are, and every day we get callers that they'd like to put their kids at the rec center, but we have been extremely cautious. And obviously this is because of the care, the attention, the cleanliness, and the supervision of staff, and that's all under John's direction. So I think everybody plays a role here. You're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. And I think we have an outstanding group of leaders, maintenance personnel. And if you pass by the park at 6 o'clock at times when I leave here, that park is hopping. There's not one parking space anywhere in that park. The field is being used for games and for leagues. The tennis courts are overwhelmed with the tennis instructor is overwhelmed with business, where they have had to add additional days and hours of the day. Our basketball courts, the after school care program, and just the service that we provide, I think it has made these difficult times a little bit more pleasant to deal with. And for that, we thank you, John. And can you shave that beard, or is that part of the
that's becoming a trademark? I don't know.
Yeah, your trademark, your persona.
I can't do that now. We just got this great recognition. Got to keep it rolling.
Just kidding, John. You must be doing something right.
Definitely doing something, doing everything right.
Yeah. By the way, Mayor, on this note, and before you end the meeting, there's a meeting scheduled. I think, John, is for tomorrow with the South Florida Parks Coalition.
Yes.
And I think we're going to be learning, and Commissioner Blanes, I know that you are the chairman for Parks and Recreation and the commission. I believe that there will be some conversation about summer camp and what other parks will be doing throughout Miami-Dade County. So hopefully at the next meeting, and if the clerk would please include a note here, a report maybe by the director as to where we are going as part of phasing in into some kind of normalcy. This meeting tomorrow, I believe, will be very important and have some insight as to what we are to be expecting.
Thank you, Madam Manager. And yes, I'm looking forward to that report. And yes, we do have to start this discussion because summer is here. It is upon us. And I think with the success of our after school program and the way that John and you and staff has rolled that out, I think we're on very good, solid ground to look forward to a summer camp. But yes, we've got to start talking about that now because it's here. So thank you, John, and I look forward to your report from that meeting.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Good night.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 12, consent agenda items, none this evening. Item 13, good of the order.
Anyone for good of the order?
Good night.
Okay, well, upon Commissioner Suarez's request, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
This meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a very nice evening, or rest of the evening.
Thank you.
night.
Likewise to all.